I'm going to say something controversial here about love. All right, so we're going to talk about the difference between love and light on this awakening and ascension journey, and where love really fits into the awakening journey, and where love on the ascension journey turns into receiving of light, and what the difference is. And there's a real distinct difference. And if you are on your awakening journey, heading into your ascension journey, this may be really a potent message for you. So stay tuned. My name is Rebecca Abraxas. We are remembering our greatness here on this channel. We are on this awakening ascension journey together. And any comments or questions you have regarding this topic, make sure you put them in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going, okay? So let's dive in here. Love versus light. This is what came to me through my guided intuition during my meditation. So take it for what it's worth. If you buy into it, great, and it helps you expand your consciousness, awesome. If you're like, this lady's a loon, throw it out. Who cares? You get to choose what you put in your heart or not. But this is what came through when I sovereignly connected to my source, through me, for me, as me, by me, and how I asked for guidance from the source, at myself at source, sanctioned by me at source, letting all the other energies go. This is what came through. And I found it to be very interesting, just because I am going through my own dark night of the soul during the solstice portal. Right now, in this moment in time, it is December 21st, 2021, and this is the solstice. The solstice portal has been the whole month, and it has been a doozy with scouring up our baggage, and that we get to unpack and really take a look at and say, I'm letting go. And it's been a ride, I have to say. since since probably Thanksgiving, it's been quite a ride. But what came through today is the difference between the energy of love and the energy of light. And so the energy of love is, an unconditional love, is what helps us get to receiving the light. But the energy of love, as it is in the 3D collective and the awakening field, and the knowing field, is that it is kind of it is a remedial energy that we really need to get and be and understand before we can get into the new paradigm of light. When people say light and love, and I've done it all the time, they're very different energies. Love has a container and definement. It has to be developed before we can actually get into receiving the light. Love connotates kind of limitation, if you will. Love connotates a sense of kindness and love, and I have to be loving. I have to accept and love everyone from this open-heartedness, and act in a kind, loving way, which is kind of judgmental, right? It's kind of limiting, but it's essential to get to this other piece, right? We have to be in a loving space and open our heart to be able to get into the next paradigm of light. And this is what I mean by light. Receiving light is receiving all energy. Okay, it's true allowance. It's true acceptance and allowance. And it's true, accepting the light is accepting the expansion of consciousness through beings coming in, playing any role, of to expand consciousness and light and just the universe. So accepting the light, or being the light, is meaning being all of it. You know, as energy comes through life, as beings incarnate, uh, they have certain roles, maybe certain agreements. You know, when we think of people in their embodiments that were dark beings, you know, in the light, when we accept the light, we realize that They were here just playing a role. That perhaps there is no darkness. They're just here accepting a role to give to someone else. And someone else signed up to receive that role and receive that energy shift. We get into this new paradigm, right? Now, love, I feel like, is kind of a stepping stone to this light paradigm. Unconditional love really is the light. So if we really get unconditional love, like super get it, then we are able to receive the light from every situation. And this takes time, and it takes doing it over and over. And there might be times when you really are receiving the light. You're in this new paradigm. You're in this field of true unconditional love and allowance. And then there's times that we kind of dip in and we're like, okay, I love you, but really I'm not in allowance. I'm not in this new paradigm. So this is how I'm making the distinction. There's love, and then there's extreme unconditional love, which turns into like receiving of light, and the new paradigm of seeing everything on the planet as a choice and an opportunity to expand energy and consciousness. And that in receiving the light, that you're willing to go do whatever it takes. In the Bhagavad Gita, forget the character's name, but he is having this hard time with he wants to be loving. He wants to, be loving to his people. And Krishna is saying, go into war and kill these people. And he's like, how can I do that? Like, that's not loving. And he's just like, this is all a game. Receive the light, receive the message, go do what needs to be done here to expand consciousness. And he's having this struggle with this. What Krishna is really talking about is doing whatever it takes to expand consciousness and being in total allowance and unconditional love, knowing that, everyone involved in this story and this play on earth has extreme unconditional love and light, right, at the base of them, of who they really are. So Earth is a playground for light beings to come in and play in whatever agreement or whatever thing they wanted to play with, whether it's war and being a dictator and being a serial killer, or being a monk, or being a teacher, or being a light worker, whatever it is. These agreements came, and just because we're light workers and we are teachers doesn't make us any lighter or better than, say, the Hitlers of the world. And I know that is probably going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. And you may unsubscribe, you might turn this off. But honestly, guys, a new paradigm is taking a look at everyone as the light, and that they're just playing these roles to expand consciousness. And when we're in the paradigm of love, we see a lot of times love and light and dark. And really there's only light. And when we're really in the true paradigm of light, we see everything as light and everyone just as a player and an expansion of consciousness. What are your thoughts and questions about that? Let me know, okay? Just curious what you guys think of that. So this is what came through during my meditation today, and it's helping me decipher some of the roles and things that I'm doing in my life, and the things that are echoing in my life to respond and act and create boundaries around. And part of me is in this old love paradigm of like, oh, I should just love this, and I should just accept and just be an allowance of this, an allowance of this as a doormat. When you come over here to light, you can be allowance of something, but you can still hold a boundary and not be a doormat, right? So love in this paradigm is like you're a doormat, you're just love and kindness, and people can just, walk all over you because you are just being the love. And that's a step. But when you come into this new paradigm, it's like you're willing to be the whatever energy it takes for the world to wake up. And that might be kind of like a Kali energy. That might be like a no freaking more. Stop. No more. Boundaries. Like, this is what I'm seeing. This might hurt. This is what's up for me. This is what I'm saying right now. You're willing to be whatever energy it takes to try to wake up a person, a situation, the planet. And love sometimes is not this kind of remedial paradigm of love is not willing to do that. You'll see that in a lot of like kind of new age stuff. Just love, just love, just don't be. But when you look in the Hindu god traditions, like goddess traditions, like Kali is like fire. Kali's willing to really give it, like, just no more, and to expand consciousness. So this new paradigm is like, yes, it's unity, yes, it's love, yes, it's oneness, but it's also this, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be the light on the planet and expand consciousness. And it may not look pretty. And some beings embody that right away. They come in and they're saying, okay, I'm going to be that role on the planet. I'm going to get everyone to hate me. And I'm going to create that contrast for the planet, and they'll rise past that and above that and whatever else. I'll do whatever it takes. So honestly, like, let's have compassion for those beings that are willing to come to the planet and be hated by everybody. Right? Like, that's intense energy. There's a strong enough being to come and be that for the higher consciousness and collective evolution. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of one philosophy, and I find that very interesting. So that came through in my meditation, the difference between love energy and light, and these two different paradigms. So if you are walking into your ascension journey and learning to sustain a high frequency, this new paradigm of light, of seeing light in everything, in every situation, and being the energy of whatever it takes to expand consciousness. And sometimes being hated and knowing what to do with that hate, that dagger, letting it go. So recently I've had a stomach ache for 2 days. And when I sat in meditation today, I was asking, okay, what is this? Body, what is this? And the message I got from my body was, I'm being bombarded by thoughts, your thoughts and other people's thoughts. And recently I'm in some contrast with a family member, and I can just feel these daggers coming, thought daggers coming at me. So I had to spend some time in my meditation. Part of me is like, do I have the flu? What's happening? And I'm like, I don't really get sick. I don't really do that. And sickness anyway is just an energetic. So I was like trying to get underneath the energetic of the stomach ache. And it really felt like I had to take a look at how my body's being bombarded by thoughts from myself and from other. And I worked there. And I just saw everything as an interesting point of view. And I just allowed all of it to just flow through me like a breeze, and helped my body integrate this. Not even integrate it, like not even take it on. So when we talk about integrate with the body, like sometimes it's just all about expanding space, and letting energetics from thoughts move through you like air, like wind. So my body and I kind of worked like that. And after my meditation, I felt so much better. I also did something, it's called the implant band. It's part of Access Consciousness bars. You hold this spot behind your ears. It really releases a lot of energetics from thoughts. Okay. So I did that, and I feel amazingly better. So guys, never underestimate body sensation as kind of like an energetic that they're being bombarded by, and do the work to shift that. Okay, guys, so this is my take on love and light, and kind of the different paradigms. and that this is required to come into this new paradigm of seeing things in a broader perspective. And where are you at on the trajectory? And wherever you are is perfect and divine timing. And don't beat yourself up for where you are. Okay. And honestly, this paradigm is tough when we're first coming into it, because it's like there's a lot of personal judgment, because when we're coming from this love paradigm, there's a lot of self-judgment that we have residual hanging out over it, because we're like, oh, I'm not being loving, that wasn't very loving and kind. And it's like, well, but it's maybe the energy that's required for something to wake up. And isn't that kindness, to have consciousness at the forefront, awakening at the forefront, right? So when we think of kindness, are you willing to be the kindness that actually wakes someone up? Wakes someone up to their greatness, wakes someone up to a different perspective, wakes the globe up to a different perspective. Sometimes the definition of kindness is not what we're acting out, but that is limited. And so in this perspective, we're being the Kali energy. We're willing to do whatever it takes. Being kind means that we are willing to do whatever it takes, even if people are going to hate and disown us, for the sake of awakening consciousness. And that's a little challenging. And so what do you do with all the daggers and thought that come at you when you're really holding a boundary and doing what it takes? You got to expand the energy, let it come through you like a breeze. And if you start to feel sick, this is what you got to do. You got to start moving the energy that's coming at you, or put up some protection and let it kind of bounce back. This game of expanding consciousness is no joke. You got to be really solid in your beingness, really brave, and getting out of that kind of judgmental thought mentality, that cause and effect and that kind of thing. It doesn't really exist over here in this new paradigm. It's like following energy. It's doing whatever it takes. And the only thing kindness is not wrapped up in, this kind of new age love. It's wrapped up in, I'm a warrior, right? I'm listening to what Krishna has to say about this, and doing whatever it takes to really be the kindness of personal evolution and awareness and expanding consciousness on the planet. That's true kindness, not placating people's behaviors, personalities, egoic habits. Being an allowance of those and just placating them, that's one way. That's kind of an old paradigm. Or sometimes it's time to do whatever it takes to let that person wake up to them. And is that yours to do? Ask the question. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it is. And you can ask Kali, to be with you. Give me the strength to be brave and to be the warrior that I'm required to be. So this whole perspective is in the Bhagavad Gita. And I really recommend reading the Bhagavad Gita through Sat Shri from New Dharma. He has a wonderful way of explaining the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's wisdom through that to Arjuna, I think his name is, who's a human and trying to figure out how to live and what to do next. So go read that. All right, beautiful being, thank you for being here. If you need support during this great awakening time, go to my website, RebeccaAbraxas.com. And if you would like to use your own voice to navigate new energies in your life, in the descriptions, I have a brand new online course called Vocal Toning for Manifesting. I love this little course, and I think you will too. You get to do it on your own time and learn how to use your voice to shift your vibration. All right, beautiful being. Good luck. Let's have fun out there. Namaste.